they got my music from one of the producers that I was working with.
Okay.
And they said, listen, we love your sound. Come have a meeting with us and let's see what we can come up with. I had a meeting with them, not one, not two, three. Actually 4.
Yeah.
And we took about a year negotiating my deal.
Yeah.
I can't do 360. You know?
And then
yes. So I had to negotiate and say, no, guys, I want 60% of this, 40% that. Halalo. I obviously can't disclose everything now because the deal is done. So, yeah, we agreed. After a year of negotiation, guess what? They decide to bench me. Industry mo studio Mr. Brown go tsena di artist in and out ba bangwe ba iswa go kabza ba bangwe ba iswa kae ke lebile helana ke lebile gore all right so nna ke ntse hela there's nothing happening. I talked to the manager. I'm like, guys, I'm not dumb. I can see what you guys are benching me. Is it because my talent is not enough? But what I realized is that the industry wants to break you first before they take you to the top because they need to use you. You become a billboard. So if you have these standards and morals, that's going to clash with their money. If they say get naked now, I mean, I don't mind getting naked, but under my own conditions. And I think that was what the difference was, is that like they felt like Thato, they wanted to break me. And I couldn't be there.
It wasn't working.
Yes. So I felt like, you know what, guys, I'm a something because it's not working.
People of different identities. Podcast with PODICAST.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the PODICAST, coming at you straight from Leo's in Guest House right here in Gaborone. I'm your host, SCAR, and yes, you can catch us every single Wednesday right here on the streets of YouTube on the Local Corner Multimedia YouTube page. And we come at you from Leo's Inn. You can come and get yourself a spot here for about $1,000 for the presidential suite and about 600 pula for a normal room. And also, they're also based out in Tsabong. There's also another one. But yo, today we have a guest in the house that is absolutely phenomenal. One of these generational talents. Like I've never heard a voice like this in BW before, and I'm really, really happy that she's here to talk to us about what got her into the music and what got her out of the music and what got her back into the music. I think,
what's happening here?
back forth.
I need to clarify.
What is Sinta, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Without further ado, Thato Jessica is in the house.
Hello. What it do, big SCAR?
What's up, Mamisto?
I'm good. How are you?
Everyone in Botswana is called Thato.
No
doubt, Mamisto. But thank you so much for joining us. On such short notice as well. We're really, really happy to hear new music. I think I'm going to start in the future and then we'll go to the past.
Okay.
Are you back in the music business?
No.
Okay. What's going on? What's going on with that?
I am making music, but I'm not selling it.
Okay.
So that takes me out of the industry.
Okay.
It's such a small difference, but it's huge.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes to the paperwork and everything, when it comes to the mindset, your psychology, where you are, it's huge. Because selling your music gives you this, platform. It has its own problems. It has its own challenges. So I am making music, but I'm not selling it. So I'm not in the industry, but you guys are still going to hear my music.
So with that, because I'm also trying to understand it, because I know what music because your mental health and you want to take care of yourself. You have other talents as well that you want to explore. How did you come to that decision then? Like and make songs, get in the studio, get behind the mic again. How was that for you? Because I was talking to Cast about it. Karis was when he came to the show. Hey, Karis was saying, especially with talented people like yourself, because you're phenomenally talented. You
Thank
end up,
you.
you can't just walk away from it because it's in there. So how easy was it for you to get back in the studio and make
That's
songs?
the thing, is that people think that I walked away from music, but I
Yeah.
keep saying the same sentence over and over again.
Yeah.
I left the industry.
Yeah.
If I'm a doctor and I practice and I have a license to practice, I'm in the industry, the medical industry.
Yeah.
But if I decide, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore, I'm probably just going to do physio, I still heal people, but I don't do it in the office of a doctor. So I think that's where the debacle is. Music.
Yeah.
But for me, I left the industry because I didn't want to deal with the executives, the managers, the bookings, the emails, the promoters. I
Yeah.
didn't want to deal with that, but I love music.
Yeah.
So there was no way that I was going to let music go. I never stopped making music.
Okay.
Actually, the whole of last year, when nobody heard from me, I was in studio.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that
also,
clarifies.
I think that's also what people, because I thought it was something really, really traumatic for someone as talented as you, because
Yeah.
there's a lot of people I wish would let it go. Not
You
like that, but
can't.
like some people just don't have the technical ability and also the creativity that you have. So I thought at that point, we'd lost a good one. But just the fact that, you put it that way, okay, you still do music because you love it.
Yes.
And you have fans that appreciate it. You're still doing the music. I'm going to take it back,
Yeah.
all the way back to Thato, because not a lot
Okay.
of... I went through the internet. Like,
Hey.
there's very few things going on here, Thato.
Very few. What does that
Hey,
mean?
I
You want me
wouldn't-
to just expose my life?
No, there's no stories. Like, okay, a re simolole gone
Eh.
moo. O goletse kae, o ngwana
Hey.
ko kae?
Okay.
Emma.
I mean, ngwanana wenkalanga ndodwa kumapoka. I am from Mapoka. I'm a Kalanga babe. And until I was like 5 years old, I was living with my grandmother, my mother's mom. And then I moved to Gaborone to live with my parents. Baba Primary School, shout outs. And then I went to Musala Pula
Yeah,
Community
yeah.
Junior Secondary School.
Yeah, ma'am.
And then go Legae for my senior.
Okay.
Later on, I went to the University of Botswana to do my bachelor's degree in architecture. So basically, that's profiling.
But then, where did the music come into play? Because,
All right.
how did you discover?
So in Musala Pula, right, I met this Han Hela. We actually became very close friends and we started going to church together.
Yeah.
We started singing together.
Okay.
And I one day went to the art club yako Musala Pula. Teacher, no, my sister.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Yeah.
And that's literally how everything was sparked. Like I was just in an art club and with my friends, and everything started from there. I joined a group called Excalibur that was in church. It was like a hip hop group.
General.
Yeah, you know my peeps.
I know General. Kingdom City, what up? Yeah, it's my guy. Yeah.
So back when I was still a Christian,
yeah.
I was in a Christian hip hop group,
Yeah.
Excalibur, and we did so much in that group. We actually traveled to Cape Town. We made it to like top 20 African
Yo.
groups. Yeah, so
I
we
remember
did
the
some
t-shirts.
stuff.
I was just always jealous about
Exi,
that.
baba. Rocking the match.
Yeah, that was wow.
Yeah.
So what happened with that? Like,
Woo! The reason why I left the industry, money.
so yeah, no, it became about profit. Now it wasn't about the fun.
Madi.
General.
Ene yo.
Motho ke ngwana modimo Thato.
Ke ngwana modimo ra mo itshwarela, but Mehela, I have to be honest as to why I left. Like,
What
I'm not-
happened though? Like, break it down.
He was actually dishonest about how he spent the money in the group, and I wasn't happy about it. I was the only one who actually stood up and said, "No, this is not right." Everybody was like, "Thato, you tripping?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "You know what? It's fine. I'd rather be tripping and go do my own thing." That's actually how I branched off and became a solo artist.
So when with the voice though, like, was
Yeah.
it the first time you discovered or you had pipes like go skolong, or were you singing also in the house? Because
Yeah.
I never really understand it. For rappers at least, you start rapping other people's songs,
Yes.
and then your friends are like, "Yo, why don't you do your own rhymes?" And then you get
You
into
start,
it with
yeah.
singing. Like, how You didn't know? No one at home knew? Like,
Well, most people at home can sing. So
okay.
if everybody can do it, it's not like okay, but my grandmother is a phenomenal singer. Like
yeah?
she's amazing. That's where I get my gift from.
Mm.
So maybe because everybody was just singing all the time, it wasn't like a thing.
Yeah.
But my mom always tells me, oh, ngwana ke batho."
Oh,
Yeah, love her. Shout out to you.
No doubt. I always, I don't know if this is a proper comparison to make, because like your voice on different songs, like you always know how to push the envelope, and I always
Wow,
wonder what
thank
was
you
it
for
like.
that. I appreciate.
The harmonies, that thing, Jesus Christ. I'm singing around singing Selele every day, but like I want to understand that though.
Yeah.
For you to then decide, okay, cool, maybe I can do this. When was that moment for you? Maybe I can stand in front of people and actually do this thing and actually even get into a solo career by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's when I got Hampton's Jazz Festival.
Oh.
So before then, I was just like, okay, let me do this thing.
Yeah.
I'm opening for Billy Ocean. That was crazy. Salif Keita, insane. So that was like, I'm actually doing this thing and I'm going to take it seriously, because I remember Salif Keita, oh, you're going to do well. I get it, he doesn't speak English that fluent. So he was just like, you're going to do well, you're going to do well. Because I think he could see, hey, la. But before then, though, I just want to give a shout out that when I was in Excalibur, that was a time that I also really got to appreciate my gift, because those guys pushed me. Like, rapper, and I was the only singer.
Yeah.
So I think when it comes to pushing the envelope, is because I was exposed to rappers.
Yeah.
So that also kind of made me a little broad in terms of how I approach songs.
No doubt. And then when you move away from the safety of the collective,
Yeah.
are you thinking that this is something that will ultimately be a business for you? Because what are for
Yeah.
you to be in the art lab, what are we do as well?
Yeah.
Oh Lord! So the architecture part, like how did you
Yeah.
then ultimately become an architect? Like,
I remember Kira from 2 Hole career day, so what do you guys want to be? Everybody I want to be an engineer and a singer and I want to
Yeah.
hey. How and from that day on, I vowed to prove her wrong.
Yeah.
I vowed to prove her wrong, because I knew that all those things were in me.
Yeah.
So I've always done them piece by piece because
Yeah.
of the exposures that I've had.
Yeah.
But I think now, because I'm older, like it's becoming the whole Thato me
Yeah.
picture thing. Yeah.
The whole thing is coming
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
But how would you describe your your process? Like, because I'm saying I was in a group as well at one point, and when I went and then I decided to like write 3 verses and a chorus, that was daunting. For you, did you think you'd be able to like pursue it outside of them, or was it something saying, I'm tired of this, so I'm just gonna?
Oh, okay. So I was a married girl back in the days, I used to be a married hand. So my ex-husband was a producer.
Okay.
And that made it very smooth for me to transition from the group to being a solo artist, because he was always there to say, okay, bakanya se dirayana. And in terms of the production and, just the whole music business thing, he was there. And, we worked together. So it wasn't that difficult because he was there. Yeah.
So did you guys meet in the music, or were you guys like somewhere else? Were you guys already making music together?
We met at church, but we had just been friends and in the youth group together.
Yeah.
And then you know how it goes. Had a little music in fall in love. Yeah.
How old were you when you got married?
I was 21.
Damn.
Damn.
Whoa.
I
know 25.
You know my story.
I know 30-year-olds who still don't understand themselves. Why did you guys get so married so young?
Because we were in the church, and this was my first boyfriend, and I believed in Jesus, and I was a virgin wife, And that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to do things the right way. Ka ha Modimo a re direng dilo ka teng.
Tsamaiso.
Se ke bua nnete hela. Gore ne re batla tsepsi mme ne re batla go e dira ka ha tseleng ya Modimo. Yeah. But also we had a vision though, like we had music. So I think that was the other thing that was unifying us, and we just felt like, nah, this is it, you know.
How is it being in love with someone and working with them? Because I work with my lady.
Yeah.
It gets complicated, you know. Like right now, we gotta do this show, but I know she's about, like when we step out of here, we have some things to talk about. Hey, so I'm out here putting it. I'm sorry though. Like, okay.
Tabloids, did you hear that?
But like, how does it work? Like, were you guys able to separate the two worlds?
They weren't really separate because we were always together. So it just felt like we were working towards the music together until we weren't, you know. Until we weren't.
Yeah, I'm going to stay in this situation
All
right
right.
here.
All right.
Yeah. Because he's one of my favorite producers. I've always wanted like a
dope producer
a beat from him. I think Gustos as well. I think around that time. There was a bunch of like really, really young cats who were coming out into the game, your Flexes of this world. All of those guys, when they were coming through, it sounded like a fresh of breath air. A breath of fresh air. Yeah.
I got you still.
So, did you guys realize what you guys were doing at the time? Like the music that was coming out and how it was changing the whole game?
Man, I think we were just having fun.
Yeah.
And I think that was also the dangerous part. Is that if you're not aware that you are changing things, you're rubbing people off the wrong way and you don't even realize it. So Rona, re out there, like, we were having fun, making music, having big dreams, thinking of New York, baby. But yeah, we've always seen ourselves in these big stages and you know, believed in our talent like that. So I don't think that we were quite aware of it like that. I think it only started to hit now when the OG people of the industry started hitting us up. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Do you know who just called me? So that's when it hit.
What was the first jam that really did it for you? Like, and you know, people realize, yo, Thato Jessica is here. Which one was it?
Baby, don't act like you don't see me. Hey, looking at you, you know that you done had it with my OCD.
People don't know anything.
Houston, we got a problem.
I've been playing it for this other gentleman who was here. The lady, they were here earlier.
Yeah.
And she thought you were American.
Hey.
This jam,
I knew.
But why do you think that is? Do you think we're like, did you have any musicians who inspired you when you were growing up in Botswana?
Absolutely. In Botswana, yes, and obviously internationally because I do R&B. R&B is more of like an American genre. So most of the people that inspired me are from the US. I'm not gonna front about it.
I feel you.
Do I listen to hip hop in Botswana or just music generally? I do. I do. The R&B scene in Bots, I didn't really have anyone except for Samantha and Samantha, because that's the one that I reached out to. I reached out to Sam. So I think that was the one person who I would say, okay, in Bots, definitely.
Because in outside of Bots?
Oh, Beyonce, but I don't want to talk about her.
Because there is, I didn't want to say it, but I think like a younger Beyonce, like, you know, like the harmonies, I don't know how to explain it, but like you do give off a little bit of that as well. I'm saying this as a compliment. It's what but like, do you think for R&B, and did you guys really think that R&B in Botswana could be a thing?
I actually didn't think about it like that. For me now was just making music, like what I was saying earlier, we were just having fun, you know. But then the deeper I got into it, I started thinking about the demographics of it now. Hey, Thato, this means you're probably like a pioneer sort of thing because there's not a lot of you guys doing this, and there's a cost when you do that. Is that probably you're not gonna go as high as you are supposed to. People who are going to come after you are probably the ones who are going to benefit from what you're doing.
Definitely.
You know, so I'm just like, I only realized it later.
Yeah.
But now I've made peace with it. Wait again, guys. Nah, let's just stick to what we love to do and leave the music business to the people in the industry.
So the business part, because there's the passion, there's the love for the music. You're making music with someone you love. You who was handling the business?
Me.
So bookings and stuff like that. Like how?
Yes.
Yeah.
I used to do the emails. I used to do the calls. So if I wasn't like on the emails, he would probably help in.
Yeah.
But like most of the admin, the website as well. I design my own website. I do the visuals, the production of my music videos. Ask these guys. Like I did my production. Yeah, Addicted with them. PC.
Yeah.
I think I've always been like well-rounded in artsy things.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like a flowy thing for me to do. The administration part.
So
as
the
well.
architecture part, the email, are you paying attention to the architecture game too?
Yeah, if you pay attention to what I said in the beginning, and they believe so much in education. So there was no way that I could get married young and not graduate and do music at the same time.
So you were at varsity while you were married?
Yes.
Thato. I remember myself when I was 21. It's like, how did you survive it? Like at school, with a wedding ring?
Wait, sorry. I think people go school never because when they got the wedding invites, they were shocked. Like, what? We're like one of us is getting married here. So I got married. I was in my 4th year. So I just did 4th year, 5th year. We get a shapo, guys.
So you no look school
Yes.
Hey, posh wanyak. Hey, here comes the
In
hard
the
one.
depth.
What happened for the breakup to ultimately happen?
So many things. But all in all, we lost intimacy.
Okay.
Yeah. We lost intimacy with each other. And that just trickled down to everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, like how was that bond? Business and also at the time I was questioning a lot about my religion. And don't forget that the church is what we got married into.
Yeah.
So now taking that foundation or taking that structure out of our marriage also kind of made it weak, to be honest, because Nerese in front of the couple as much as we were when we were youth leaders and all of that. Yeah, we were in Joburg doing the music thing together. I was rediscovering my faith. There was no intimacy, and it is what it is. Because you're gonna end up doing things you regret and you're just like, this is not me, so.
What happened with you and Jesus?
No, Jesus. Me and Jesus, I realize who Jesus is because hey, Jesus, here you are born a sinner, all of that. So I am more into the African spirituality.
Okay.
If you guys know anything about TikTok or whatever, they call us the awakened ones. Because we're so much into the origins of our spirituality as Africans.
Definitely.
So now that's what I'm into now. I'm exploring ancestral knowledge. I'm exploring water spirits, all of these things, because we've been taught to demonize them and think they're evil. But these are the things that our ancestors lived by. How did we come about here? Were they wrong? So I think because I started asking all these questions, it led me into like a self-discovery journey.
But they can't coexist.
It's in why Bible wants to make us slaves, unfortunately. So I do my and I don't have a problem with Christianity. There's Christians in my family. My grandmother's a Christian, but I just don't want to be imposed into it because I've walked that journey. I was a Christian since I was 16, like a born again fire, like that's how deep I was in, So when I started questioning, it was more for me than it was like just mudimuking. It was deeper.
Was it a moment or was it something that was gradual? Like when you were reading the book, whatever you were discovering at the time.
Yeah.
Was it a moment where it was a light bulb moment, or was it something that was gradual, or was it something traumatic that happened within the church?
It was a mixture of all. Hey,
Yeah.
I think there were moments when I realized, yes, as man, fuck, this is a lie. And then there was
You're
certain
talking to
things.
someone who just got baptized, so I know my pastor's gonna be watching this.
Oh my
So
goodness,
really
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I'm out here freaking out. Like I'm like, okay, but sorry, we'll go do. So with like, what happened?
It was a combination of everything, like I said. There
Yeah.
was things that the leaders in the church did.
Oh, yeah.
Saying, no, these people don't believe in Jesus.
Yeah.
And then I thought it was just the church leaders and churches. But then when you get into the scriptures and you actually read stuff, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
So God, you allow for people to rape a woman and there's nothing you're going to do
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
You're going to just kill babies? You know, like you think about those things and you start to think, I know what's good and I know what's right.
Yeah.
And this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's different. I
feel
never
you.
want to impose anybody's religion on anyone. How are you on your Christian journey? Be on your Christian journey, you know.
Who do
and
you-
congratulations on your baptism.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who do you have these conversations with?
Oh, everyone, basically. Yeah.
Because I know people will trip out sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, because sometimes I feel those journeys can be so lonely because people just don't want to open up their minds to like understand, because you're not trying to push them from what they believe.
Yes.
It's just, this is what I believe.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So how is that journey going though with the other, the other spirituality? How's that going for you?
This new journey that I'm on, but that's not new because I think ever since 2020,
Yeah.
it's time, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's been so challenging.
Yeah.
Because I had to dig deep
Yeah.
and start healing wounds that I didn't even know I had wounds in.
Yeah.
You know, like things, why was I so desperate to be on stage?
Yeah.
I linked that to the lack of attention that I didn't get as a kid.
Yeah.
You know, Ke lemoga gore kana dilo tse dingwe Thato wa bo di batagela ka gore ha wa hola. You know, you move in certain ways and you do certain things because you haven't addressed the pain that you grew up with. And now as an adult, you are forced to.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
circumstances are now leading you to shift your life, you know. So yeah, a journey with my ancestors has been a journey with knowing where I'm from.
Yeah.
Getting in touch with my grandmother's lineage because I'm very strong on the matriarchal side. And yeah, I've always been quote unquote prophetic.
Yeah.
Even as a kid, like when I was 5, I had dreams of people dying, which creeped people out.
Yeah.
That's why I was like a loner in primary because people were just like, this kid is weird. You know, so I've always had that spiritual gift. Even now, hela.
Yeah.
Even now, hela, le ba lo iba mo industry ba ke ba bone gore ne le ntogwa. Ne le ntogwa ke le bone mo ditorong tsa me gore ne le ntogwa. So yeah, I think I've always been very spiritually inclined, and right now it's like really coming out because there's nothing that's like constricting me.
Yeah. I'm loving this conversation because like I had a conversation with my dad about that.
Yeah.
There were like some relatives who came from like South Africa and stuff. One of their people was buried.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's telling me all this. And at the same time, when I'm thinking about it, people say, okay, cool. Why do you think we have such a bad relationship with ancestry? Because where do we think these people go?
It goes back to religion and culture as well.
Yeah.
Because the way even though you're not a Christian, because we're in a Christian country, society.
Yeah, secular,
yes,
pretty much
majority
religion.
of the country is Christian.
Yeah.
So it's like you're it's quote unquote demonized. You're praying to the dead.
Yeah.
You know, because gets an fire. So that's literally what they were telling us, is that ancestral worship is demonic. But we don't worship our ancestors, first of all. We acknowledge them. We say, this is why I'm here today. All these fine ass looks I got him from my ancestors. So shout out to them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Do you have anyone mentoring you in this journey?
No.
Yeah.
One man, one machine.
Wilderness. You need some help. I'm just saying, like, sometimes you never know what you're walking into, but I respect that for real,
Yeah,
you know?
I wouldn't say that, to be honest, I wouldn't say that I'm alone because I do meet people at certain phases of my journey who help me to go on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So even though I get one across the whole journey, but I do meet people along the way who actually like input into my life.
Definitely. When you and Malcolm stopped making songs together, who did you start working with? Was he always the one who produced most of your music, or because I know What Problem was produced by Flex?
Yeah.
Who are some of the
Beats
people?
actually.
Oh, it's Amo Beats,
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. Grammy nominated Amo Beats.
Baby. I'm so proud of you. Okay.
Put some respect on that boy's name. So who are the circle of producers that, you know, we hear all these great songs, Thato.
Yes.
Like, who are these people that you always work with?
So after the divorce, the baby girl had to look and think, who am I going to work with?
Yeah.
I had to come back home first to recuperate. How
did that go?
Yo, emotional. But we made it through.
Yeah.
And so we made it through because now he's happily married to somebody else. So shout out to him, them. Yeah, so I came back home to get my stuff together. I worked with everyone. I met some producers when I was with Nasty C and Rolene in Cape Town for the Red Bull. Yes, for that Red Bull thing. So I
was so hyped when you were on that. I was on the radio. I was like, oh my goodness, they're about to see. They're about to see what we got. Yeah, I know what we got, man. When you were in that situation, I was like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
But anyway, I got in contact with the producers from there, and I just like kept working with them.
Yeah.
And then I also reached out to like people hella online. I used to like inbox producers. There was this other guy that was in Durban, and he was signed to Rock Nation. So I reached out to him and we worked together.
Okay.
So like all of these things,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you weren't trying to get employment, the architecture degree? No. No dule moyo ne anu no senka.
No, wait again. And I felt like it was going to delay me if I tried to do all these other things. So after I took my degree, got my degree, put it on the side, and I was like, okay, now it's time to do what I actually want to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I went in, but I used to do a couple of freelancing jobs that helped me with my profile. So I'm glad that I didn't completely let it go, but I wasn't like fully in.
No doubt. Did you get management there? Were there people who were helping you get gigs? Because I'm trying to think about like some of the gigs that we have here in BW, and I'm trying to remember the shows that I've seen you at, and I think they really few blind, and I don't understand why that was when your music was playing everywhere. So did you try to get someone to help you with the management stuff?
I did actually.
Yeah.
I used to work with Carnido. There was also a couple of other.
Great.
You know Carnido, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I used to work. So
he was the only one who managed to manage me. Or like at one point, he managed me.
Yeah.
So we still keep in contact. He's a really good guy.
Yeah. So he really tried his best, Tota, to push me out with the promoters and everything. But for some awkward reason, I just wasn't getting booked. I wasn't getting booked. To this day, I can't even explain to you why.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a reason, and I don't want to ask myself too much, because I know that I had done everything possible as an artist to put myself out there, to get the proper management, to invest into my brand. So, I can't think I think for me, it's always a sign that you need to redirect your efforts.
Yeah,
you know, so that's how I took it. Okay, I'm not getting booked. I didn't go to check out Mzanzi. Block the producer. It's okay. So, but yeah, I think all in all, it was just like different situation. It wasn't like one thing that said, you know. So.
Do you think there's circles in BW? Because I want to understand.
Absolutely.
Why do you think other people with trash music like are always booked and stuff? Trash, yeah. We can say trash.
All right.
Yeah. So why do you think that is? Like, I want to hear your perspective about it. Why do you think? What wouldn't you do for them to book you?
Oh, great. Because they are hungry for it to a point where they can step on other people
Yeah.
to do it. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
When I did music, ke simolotse hela ke le ngwana mo Kreste ke batla go make a difference with my songs.
Yes, sir.
And that heart has always continued. I just want to make a difference.
Yeah.
So they can step on people, they can block people on radio, they can buy the promoter tsa bone whatever or
Who,
do
Thato,
whatever.
Who did that?
E le gore nna tebe ke dintsha gore ke tsena mo mathateng.
Gore o ntshe boloko botlhe.
No, because I think what I've known about the bots industry is that it's closed in like a circle way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ba ke ba ba skgwanyane ba ipoleletse. Bana ke ba ba ko magaeng.
Yeah.
Bana gore re ba tsana wa bana. So
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
because of that, it made it difficult for me to penetrate what the other circles,
Yeah.
had formed.
But now at this point, I think R&B is at a certain point now. Because of yourselves, your
Yeah.
impossibilities of this world and stuff like Samantha.
Yeah.
Would you advise any young lady out there to get into this business?
I think everybody deserves to have their own experience of the industry. Yeah. So I would never say, don't do it.
Yeah.
But I would warn you to say, be careful of 1, 2, 3. Because how's the real? So I wouldn't say that don't get into the industry, but I would say it's a very challenging industry.
Yeah.
And depending on what you're willing to give to go to the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like open mic productions.
Yeah.
How did
Laptop yan.
I want to talk about open mic productions because
Yeah.
like I celebrate a lot of our wins. What happened? How did you link up Leone Open Mic Productions?
Open Mic headhunted me. They got my music from one of the producers that I was working with.
Okay.
And they said, listen, we love your sound. Come have a meeting with us and let's see what we can come up with. I had a meeting with them, not 1, not 2, 3. Actually 4.
Yeah.
And we took about a year negotiating my deal.
Yeah.
Ke ba ra ke re kana me I can't do 360.
Mm.
Kana ke rutegile ska. Ha ka tsana hela ke le,
And then Bagwira
yes. So I had to negotiate and say, no, guys, I want 60% of this, 40% that. Halalo. I obviously can't disclose everything now because the deal is done. So, yeah, we agreed. After a year of negotiation, guess what? They decide to bench me. Ke nna hela mo industry ha teng mo studio ke nna yo ke na le bo Mr Brown ke a bereka go tsena di artist in and out ba bangwe ba iswa go kabza ba bangwe ba iswa kae ke lebile helana ke lebile gore all right so nna ke ntse hela there's nothing happening. I talked to the manager. I'm like, guys, I'm not dumb. I can see what you guys are benching me. Is it because my talent is not enough? But what I realized is that the industry wants to break you first before they take you to the top because they need to use you. You become a billboard. So if you have these standards and morals, that's going to clash with their money. If they say get naked now, I mean, I don't mind getting naked, but under my own conditions. And I think that was what the difference was, is that like they felt like Thato, they wanted to break me. And I couldn't be there.
It wasn't working.
Yes. So I felt like, you know what, guys, I'm going to something because it's not working. Yeah.
Damn. With Botswana signing to South African labels, we always get this type of story. I'm trying to figure out what it is. It because do you think that was it? Because I always say Fresh, or I think they only discovered recently that he's from Botswana. A lot of people who, for some reason, I think make it in South Africa a lot of the time, is because they don't disclose that they're from here. So I don't know if do you think it was because you were from Botswana?
I mean, if it was, it would be kind of weird because, like, what's her name? Waffles is from Swaziland. Shasha is from Zim. Nadia is from Zim. So I don't think it would be a great reason because I'm pretty talented.
But the same people that you're talking about, Lebon, Wa bona ke rang? Shasha ke gone re ntseng re mmona, mme Shasha pretty much made us all love piano.
Yeah, at least me bone ba pushitsenyana kore ba tsenenyana wa tsora ke
But she
ra
was benched for like 6 years. Can you know how long? Kana Shasha ke gona a buang maloba da wa bona.
Yeah.
So I don't know gore rona kwan we don't protect our talent. We allow people to come in, but people in other countries have made it clear, like even Nigeria, even South Africa, they've made it clear gore for some reason it's like they're always gonna bench you. So I'm just trying to figure out from you, gore, do you think that there's any argument to that? Like, because I'm trying to understand why anyone would bench you.
That was the same reason that I asked them. So now I wasn't going to waste my time because that was putting me in a deep depression. Like I was depressed. The time that I signed my deal, because I was wondering, what am I not doing? And that's the thing, is like they want to make you feel like you're not enough.
Yeah.
But now it's about, so you're going to compete with Tyler, huh? You're going to compete with Tyler. And I'm like, why? Tyler is doing her own thing. Why go like competition? Music shouldn't be like that, So that's the other thing also that got me to philosophize my reason of not selling my music. To say, I don't want to get into competitions anymore. I don't want to be put into top 10s and radios and number ones. I don't want that shit anymore. All that thing comes with depression and always wanting to stay at the top and always wanting to prove people wrong, And the last night that I performed, kind of the last night, shit, I'm leaving this shit. It was because of one show where I saw all the people that I started with and they had completely turned. They are fighting against each other to be the number one.
Yeah.
South Africa, I'm the one.
Yeah.
Even to the point where I never wanted to be like them.
Yeah.
That's why I left, because I didn't want to turn into that. I'm not that,
I know exactly what you're talking about. Because experience.
Yeah.
I see a lot of youngsters and I'm always looking at them. There's gonna come a time where now the ego takes over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you forget that this is my boy, this is my friend. I grew up with this guy.
The betrayal.
The betrayal that comes out of it. But like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Why are you quitting the music?
So, yeah.
No, I gotta meet your family. It takes a strong person to stand up for what they believe in.
Shout out to my mom.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Because like, there's a lot of people who keep like toiling in this thing. Ba mess up emotionally. Did you get help? Did you get a therapist?
I went home.
Yeah.
And I humbled myself. My mother.
Yeah.
Humbling myself down because life had shown me, Thato, you are just like any other person. You can fail. You can break down.
Yeah.
Just allow it to happen, bruh.
Yeah.
Allow it, because if you pretend like you're fine, when will you be really okay for real?
Yeah.
Like, just go home. Like, I don't need to be paying this fucking rent. My mom for an entire year. Did I not get dreadlocks? Because now I'm very spiritual. Being in nature has really connected me to myself, and being Gochaye also has really brought out a part of me that I appreciate. A mature part. Okay,
I'm really proud of you, man. Like I a lot of people let it go on and on and on, where they also but you keep showing up for these people who don't care about you. And I keep telling people, I leave niggas alone. So I think a lot of young people don't understand that. And and standing up for yourself, you know what I mean? Because open mic blowing. Did you ever meet any of them, the people and try to do work? How were they treating you?
Besides open mic hella, I've met a lot of people in the industry. Like I've met Bonadia, Bomang Mang, like Ricky Rick, R.I.P. I've met a lot of people in the industry. Go open mic specifically, I was working with Mr. Brown at the time.
Mr. Brown from Zim?
Yes.
You see, that's another one. You can
Yeah.
feel like we're lipinale lioness. Mr. Brown, when all this music started, they get
He
like
even has a song Lebo
a
Kabza, Lebo. We put our why ko started. But there was a time I felt the pain that we were going through together. Anta are this thing, you can't make it. You can't make it. Ke bona gore motho o bua from experience ya ha gore ke likile sengwe le sengwe and ha ke kgone go reach that point. So I really sympathize with people in the industry who are still being suppressed, but ha gongwe motho ta ba sena choice.
What is your creative process in the studio? Do you write? Do you hum into your phone? How do you tell me your process? Because the jams are jamming.
First, there has to be an atmosphere. We have to make it an atmosphere. I even just like to play instruments or just like play beats first, so that we vibe, we remix, we freestyle. Because I don't like to record when I let tension. So first, we just like relax out, create a conducive environment. That's the one thing that I feel is so important in studio. And then we just go on with the vocals.
With who would you mostly like to collaborate with, BW and outside?
I get sure because all of them are making money out of this thing. So do I want to do collaborations?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. I have to think about it.
So would you? Because I'm R&B. Hey. R&B is small, but like we need it, and we also have so much talent. Have you ever thought about doing any other genre? Are you sticking to the one that you love? So you can switch into one about jazz and all that other stuff.
I've always been a versatile artist. I guess I R&B and hip hop. Even my first project, for those who know, I did Seasons EP. It was a mixture of everything. I did Dikatara, Ling, disco. We're taking you back to the 90s. So like I've always been very like here and there. And I think that's another reason why R&B girl. Like I just want to do whatever I want. Like why don't you get R&B girl? Hey, when
hey man, we experience it life, but at least now with your experience now, you're moving differently. What are we trying to do now with how are we going to distribute this music? Are we going to put it on data file host? Are we downloading it, MP3ing it? What are we doing now?
Actually, guys, help me out. Where should I put my music? You should let me know because currently now it's on SoundCloud because that's like free download, free streaming. But the whole point for me is to say, I'm not selling my music. So I'm not stingy with my music. I'm just not going to sell it.
Have you dropped it at the radio stations?
No, because radio stations, I get royalties need to be accounted for. And this is actually a protest against the music industry. Because for me to not receive money is to show what I've always cared about the music the art more than the money. And anybody who is thinking otherwise, so don't touch my money. Just listen to the songs.
Just like the songs. If you could change anything about the industry, what would it be?
The system.
No,
the whole
system. Break it down. Let me know.
The system of record labels having power over us as artists. Instead of us saying to them, we are the product. You need to be hearing from us. So there's too much power given to the record labels because they own most of the platforms, the TV, the stations, they have networks and all of that, and they can block you if they don't want you. So that in turn, like, it destroys the growth of the artistry. Or they've loosened enough for them to be able to get the checks. I'm not saying everybody in the industry is like that, but from my experience, majority of people are like that.
So you're not going to perform?
Nah.
Come on.
I don't feel like it. Nobody's paying for it, so.
Okay, this is now sounding like an intervention. Because I'm trying to figure out, like, Tamana, don't leave us.
We're actually going to be doing school tours. Like
I
we're
saw
gonna,
you do, sir.
yeah,
You
like
were
I'm gonna be
Lebanese
doing.
girl,
Yes,
yeah.
I'm gonna be in schools. We're gonna be singing. Like hey, Ibile, I wanted to say this. You were the first artist I've ever seen live in my life. In my life. From two stages, big
Oh my God.
And that made such a huge impact in my life because the following day, and just that little moment, it inspired and sparked something inside of me. So if I can do that also, and not just to spark that, but to also say, where are you mentally as an artist? Because your mental space is going to dictate the type of art that you give. And we want people who are going to bring art in what is going to change lives, you know?
Do you have any memorable performances that you've done? Like, what is your favorite show? Like the best performance you feel like that was a memorable one.
When I did Iverson for Nasty C, that was when Pretoria, Joburg. Yeah, I was in the Joburg one.
Yeah.
Like everybody I look up to was there.
Yeah.
That was the night that I met Ricky Rick.
Yeah.
I met everybody,
Yeah.
literally. And when I got on stage, it was like a bunch of UJ students and all of that.
Yeah.
So they got in, hype, upcoming artist.
Yeah.
And I think even though, yes, I did well on stage, for me, the backstage was like the most sentimental part of my performance.
Yeah.
Getting people like Ricky Rick saying, oh, you're good, you're dope, you're
Yeah.
dope. I was like, that time I was married, I was like, oh, my.
Macado. Hey, we sort of sounded it. I really don't know what to ask Thato anymore because I really feel like she needs to get in this business again because there's very few talents like you. And I know we can't change things overnight, you know. The status quo is what it is. People are still giving people 15% for sales. You know what I mean? People are taking your 25% for what would you think needs to change? Well, I think I asked you that before, but what is the one thing that at least we can do in the near future to try and at least make it conducive, especially for Bana Botswana, because I think like we were just talking about it right now, or I can wear this t-shirt and wear these pants and get on stage, but Bana Botswana, you need to have some dough, you need to face beat, you need to do a couple of things. What do you think we can change in the near future to make it easier for Bana Botswana? But there's so much going on in there. Is there anything that we can do in the near future?
That's a very good question because there's a lot that needs to be done.
Yeah.
But I think we can start by cultivating spaces for mental health, for well-being. Where we are intentionally sitting down to, even this podcast, for example, is that type of space. The type of questions that you ask your guests are going to trigger the industry to get into conversations. Industry. So I feel if you guys can open up spaces for artists to start speaking about their experiences in the industry together. Round table, guys. Creative director.
No, I'll make a show.
Round table, the artists, and they sit down, have new artists sitting with old artists and actually having that conversation to say, where can we bridge the gap? Where are we not meeting you guys? Like, what do you guys need? There's so many artists that I look up to who are OGs who disappointed me because I felt like they were the ones responsible to bridge the gap. But obviously, like what we said, the ego thing came through and everybody was just like, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be the guy. Instead of saying, I'm going to cultivate people so that I can be the legendary. Do you understand? Like, what do people don't appreciate the fact that when you cultivate somebody else, it takes you to a higher level.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I feel that completely. If you could open for any artist, who would it be? Because I know you're not performing anymore, so all my questions are out here.
Yeah, like, did you do your research?
I did do my research. I just feel like, yo, Thato, there's so much, man. There's so much that I think you can still do out there, especially because also the experiences that you've gone through.
Yeah.
I think you'll be in a better position also. Being a legendary,
That's what I'm doing now. Because Obana, for me, I'm an artist. Art is my priority, not just music. So even as an architect, I am following my passion and what I am here to do in this world. It's not that it's for me like a career 9 to 5. No. There's actually ancestral inspiration into my architectural work. You know, because there's that root inside of me that says, your ancestors want you to do something with this degree. There's something that you need to bring back into this nation. You know, so I have a strong connection with everything that I do. So I don't want to leave anything behind. It's go musicking, but I think it's also time for me to make room for other stuff in my life. Like I want to grow bigger than what I've experienced. I had fun in the industry, you know, it was great and I gave everything. You know, so if you're still gonna hear my voice. You haven't lost me, guys. You haven't lost me.
Are you ever gonna get married again? I wait.
Next question.
Okay, are you dating?
No, I'm not dating.
Why?
Why?
Can I hell? I mean,
I can't like ke ne go bolela gore ne ke le ko masimo kwa go na le mang ko
Go na le
masimo
batho.
bo mang
bo wa nkgoga.
ke busy le dipudi le dinku kwa ha gona la kwa no.
So is there room for love though? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I love myself.
So you're trying to be a man?
No.
No, I just want to know, my mister. Come on.
I don't know, like disappoint that one. If I say that I want to meet new people, then I don't want to start attracting like a whole bunch of, you know. So I'll just say what I'm taking my time with love.
Yeah.
See?
Why do I want to get Ryan? Have you been dating?
PR questions.
Have you been dating?
No, I'm actually very single, guys.
Okay. By choice.
I'm not dating by choice.
Why?
How about
No.
Why
you know, you
not?
should get married tomorrow. But
Why
come on,
not?
because you're still a young, beautiful young lady. Come on now.
Thank you for that, but it doesn't mean that I have to be in a relationship.
Would you date anyone in the industry?
Not in the industry.
Yeah.
Nah.
What's wrong with musicians?
Oh, nothing's wrong with musicians. Just the whole industry thing.
Yeah.
Industry lifestyle. That's the problem.
I'm trying to figure out what. Okay, cool. Because me and my lady work together. I want to get Ryan. So, no, is it that difficult to work and be together?
No, it's not. What I said is like our values shifted in the marriage. So obviously when the values shift, how can we still work together if we're not in agreement?
I feel that completely.
So
no. I mean, we're about to wrap it up because I think mostly what I wanted to find out, and I think also because we see it in the 140 characters, how we are online. Yo, fuck this shit, I'm done, whatever. And for people who love BW talent like myself, it was a moment right there. I was like, all right, cool. What are we doing something wrong? What if people like Thato can just say, yo, F this thing, then we really need to fix stuff. You know what I mean? So I think that was, like I'm saying, there's a lot of people who should have quit a long time ago because they don't have that type of talent. But when they keep going on. So I don't understand why this space is so bad for talented people.
It's not about talent anymore. It's about fame.
Yeah.
It's about being famous and being number one. If it was about talent, the most talented people would be the wealthiest.
Yeah.
But the most talented people are the most robbed.
Yeah.
You gotta be smart when you're talented because everybody is seeing you as easy meat, fruit juice, quick eat.
You remind me of Zeus a little bit because let's stubborn, you know? And like I don't know a lot of people like that. I've seen myself compromise my values for certain things before, but when I've realized like and I about to say,
You can't.
You can go jump in a lake.
You can't do anything.
So you're the first female I've seen. Let's Sasa as well. Like
Yes,
Sasa Lene
my
will do that.
girl.
RIP. So
Yeah.
how about the botlhale? Hey.
Inzalo e thamaletse. Ko re ha re tse re thamalatsa hela. Go ntsalo.
Do you have
If you
any
are too smart.
They don't mess with you.
They
Do you have
don't
any
mess with
favorites
you.
right now? Like any favorite new
Lioness
artists?
Ratang.
Yeah.
Of course. She is
But she
my
also
girl.
signed there to
I don't
thing.
know what's happening there. Oh.
Yeah.
But be careful, my sister, because I don't know, girl. But I trust that she's smart because she's moving well. Like her numbers are great on social media.
You know, I just think she's like really way talented and she just loves the music so much. I hope that she has people around her to help her see the other stuff.
Yes.
Because ukila wan mota rata pina mo goma, so like she'll be smiling there. What's that dance, babe? She does that dance and stuff. And when I want to we tatela sound, so I'm hoping, and this is why I'm thinking this conversation is very important because I don't want bana who feel like that bubbles are gonna get popped just because by tatela say some
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think this is why this conversation is very important. I don't want to ask you for a list, but I'm gonna ask you for a list.
Yeah.
Top 5 BW R&B singers.
R&B singers. Hey. Hi, Evie.
Give me a list. Give me a list.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say Samantha Mokwe.
Okay. What do you like about Sam?
She's just a stunning human being.
Yeah, and she's amazing.
Yes, great
Yeah,
personality. I like the passion in her music. She
Yeah.
puts everything in her stuff,
Definitely.
so definitely that's one person. Transition is such a beautiful song.
Yeah.
Timeless. I'm gonna say Priscilla.
Okay.
Yes, Priscilla
Yeah.
K. Shout out to you, my girl. We were in Cape Town together.
She's got a pen.
Ke
That one.
proud ka wena, ke proud.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of her and wishing her the best.
Definitely.
I'm gonna say Licky.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say Licky
Mm.
because I've gotten to know a bit of her story through Katlego Ramphaleng.
Eh.
And I'm also
Oh,
gonna.
you did Katlego's place, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, re go tsa di loaded fries, ha re tswa.
Please,
Mm.
yene ke tshwere ke tala wena. Yeah, so I'm gonna say Licky as well. I don't know if Katlego would say she's an R&B artist. Yeah, but I would say her as well. Miss Abby, I mentioned you again, Megan. Yeah, so those are my girls.
Definitely. No,
Yeah.
I'm really happy for you coming through here and having this conversation with us because, like I said, it was selfish, or because like I'm saying, we can do better
Yeah.
as a people, to make sure that we protect our talent, you know.
Yes.
And I'm hoping whoever also is
I'm
watching
glad.
this thing,
This is what we need. We need artists who will start and spark conversations
Definitely,
like this. Yeah.
definitely, and I'm just happy when you're in a good space. You're laughing. You look beautiful.
Thank you.
Ushapu. And I think sometimes, like I'm saying, the 140 characters on Twitter
Yeah,
never
I be
really do
wildin'.
justice to a story. So I'm
Yeah.
really proud of you and the fact that ugrande like that.
Thank you.
Emma. So we part 2. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Thato Jessica. And check out Selele Sele on SoundCloud and make sure that you support. How can we support?
Guys, just stay tuned to my social medias
Name
because that's where all the action is.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Dr. Ricardo is not in today. We'll check her out next week. But we really appreciate your time, Amisto. And guys, that is our show. We'll see you guys next week, Wednesday. Peace.
People of different identities.